Hello everyone, welcome to Switchcraft. I'm Jana and I'm sitting here as always with my good friend Julian.
Hello everyone, welcome to a very stable start of the week here with Switchcraft.
And this time we have another guest, we haven't had that in a long time. Today we're sitting here with our good friend Chris, or better known as Henneman.
Hi fellas.
Don't forget Henneman.
Yeah.
The double N.
With a double N. Because the man in German has the double N.
Anyway.
So let's start with a few questions about yourself before we start. So maybe how long have you been fingerboarding roughly?
Yeah, to point that roughly I'm fingerboarding since 2006 or 2007, around that.
So you're also old.
Kind of old,
very old.
Yeah.
Very old fellas.
I stick a long time to the scene now, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And you didn't have a break or didn't stop in between? You've always been around?
There wasn't a really big break. So all the time I just fingerboarded, sometimes for myself. And I mean, in the German scene, there's quite some events in the year. So even in the time that I'm not that active, I probably was going 1 to 2 times in a year to an event. So there was no big break all over.
Cool.
Gotta commit.
Gotta commit. And you write for Berlinwood, am I correct?
Yeah, actually, for Bollywood.
Cool. Is that your only sponsor or do you have others?
Yeah, to point that, I mean, Bollywood is the only sponsor. Actually, I just also write for Skate Shop in Freiburg, but that's not officially anymore. I didn't quit that, but I think I'm out.
You're from the south of Germany, right?
Yeah, I'm actually from the south of Germany.
Yeah,
Actually,
cool.
from Karlsruhe, and I was living in Freiburg for the last 80 years before I came to Berlin.
For the last 80 years.
For 8 years. Sorry for my English at that point.
No worries, it's all good. What would you say are your 5 favorite tricks?
5 favorite tricks is like only flat tricks or
whatever you like.
Everything with an ollie and switch flip. Stop there. That
seems like a precise characterization.
I think that also answers my next question. What's your least favorite 5 tricks?
kick flips, regular. In every direction. No, actually not. There's no problems with frontside flips. That's not a problem. But backside flips, half cap flips, kick flips, fakey flips.
That has become kind of a running gag.
Yeah, absolutely. I started to point it out the last weeks or month, and people in the store just making fun of that.
And now you've picked up a setup with which it's even easier to do regular kickflips.
Yeah. But it's a funny thing because when we have to film something, we do more than one trick for a post. I'm supposed to do at least one kickflip. For me. It's just like, yeah, I can do that. And for everybody who see that, will be like, oh, this was switch. And for me, it was like, yeah, there was a kickflip. Yes.
So you're basically a goofy rider.
Almost,
yeah. I mean, it started regular, but
But your natural direction would be switch.
Yeah, it's my comfort zone.
Yeah.
To say that, yeah, absolutely.
I actually met someone else this weekend who basically only can ride switch and all.
Yeah, but he started to do a switch. So
he's actually goofy.
He's actually goofy.
But we will talk about that guy a bit later anyway.
Yes.
So, let's jump into that right now, because he and another friend of ours started doing a contest. Or they did the first iteration of their contest.
Oh yeah, Hereford.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sorry. Awesome fingers.
Awesome fingers.
Sorry for
awesome fingers.
Dozing off.
Yeah.
2 fingers piece.
It's a bit confusing when you get to the numbering, because there used to be a contest called Awesome Fingers sometime last year, done by one half of the people who did the contest, and there was a contest at the location where it was, earlier this year in January by the other guy who was half of the organizing team. And they two basically came together and were like, let's just combine those two things. And that's why they kept the name from Alex's contest and kept the location from Pascal's contest, and so they combined.
Oh,
that's some interesting
information.
bits of information, yeah. So
I thought I would hit you with the insight.
So the January thing kinda got degraded from 1.0 to 1.5.
yeah, basically.
And we did a 2.0 this September. Was it September? Yes.
Yeah,
it was September.
Yeah, but like I generally like that sort of thing. Like if you doing something near each other and want similar things out of an event, just save yourself a bit of the hassle and do it together.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
We didn't know, and it totally felt like a homogeneous thing, like completely mixed together. We didn't know.
I mean, that's the way to go. Combine your energy and profit. Profit for everybody.
Profit.
That's the way how you do it.
Profit.
Combine your ideas and energy, and you will profit.
Don't be a cunt.
That's some life advice for you all.
Yeah, have to think about that.
Anyway.
So you both been there. I sadly couldn't go get there myself. I sadly had tickets for that weekend for something. But so, tell me about it. How was it? Or what was it? Describe the scene a bit and the setting.
So, we went down there with our good friend Benner and Ramon and Timo Kranz. And yeah,
that's it.
And we went down there.
Gene?
No, he was ill.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought Gene was there as well.
No. He wanted to go, but the day before he was like, "Oh,
damn.
sorry, I'm stuck to the bed," so he wasn't able to come with us.
And after some road train trip thingy, we arrived, and it was super close to the station. It was
close.
Holy shit!
It was fucking close.
You could have thrown a stone.
We was
literally
going out of the main station of Herford, and Herford was like, sorry, it's a village.
It's a village.
It's a village, and we was just looking at Google Maps. So how we have to go to our location. It was like, oh yeah, down the street and there left. Oh, it's not Berlin.
Yeah,
because in Berlin it was like, hey, you have to this way on Google Maps. It will be 2 kilometers, but actually it was like 200 meters. It was maybe. It was like
holy shit! Yeah, it was
Olympic
really
stone throw.
Not even. It was a regular stone throw. It was fuck. Go in there. You can't. Anyway.
Okay, so next time there's a contest there, we have to bring a stone from Berlin and then we measure.
And that's even
yeah, it will fit. It will fit actually in the building.
And the location is super cool. It's completely plastered with graffiti all over. It's a communal youth centre thing.
Yeah, I think
that was a direct translation. Sorry.
Yeah, I think for all our international friends in Germany, we have basically youth houses or youth clubs. Those are usually organized by the state, and there's usually someone from the state or the city who basically manages the thing, works as also as a counselor for the kids and see that everything rolls. Then there are some exceptions to that rule that organize everything on their own. I used to go to a house quite similar to it, like looking at pictures, it could as well be the place where I basically grew up.
Yeah, me too.
And so it's a very, very common thing, but they always get less over the years. Like those kind of building or those kind of institution get less and less and less, and they require people to actually do it themselves.
Yeah, we don't have those in Italy. People get knifed.
Oh yeah.
And that's also, I think, one of the reasons why this event exists, because Pascal, who organized the first contest in that location, he's quite active in the organization of the youth club thing, so he's quite of the mindset of, if you want something to be done, do it yourself. And that's why he created that contest, and he's constantly trying to show people fingerboarding in that space, and he builds stuff himself, tries to organize parks, and yeah, I think there's a really, really cool way to do that sort of contest. And he also was to me like, oh, it would be so cool if I could live in Berlin, I would do this and this and this, and I was like, and I always think if I would just live somewhere where I have a location or where I have space and
nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, like just do what you think you can do and see where that takes you.
He's a perfect example for that people.
Exactly.
Like, just do it by yourself. And from my point, I was really surprised when we arrived there and we coming into this club. It was like, fuck, they have so many spots and parks in there.
Yeah,
it was like
really, it was a few.
What? Actually, what? How? Where they come from? There was actually parks and spots everywhere.
3 parks and 2 huge flats with assorted ramps. And by 3 parks we mean 3 Black River parks. It was some of the older ones, but none of the less. I mean, no Black River parks, and yeah, it was. See.
Yeah, for me it was like completely flashback. So back 10 years when I was going to my first contest, because that was actually the parks I rode 10 years before. And it was like super cool to come back to this location. It was
and the
even
smaller atmosphere.
And it was like
everything's black.
Yeah, it was the same experience, just like 10 years back. I was like, oh, I'm a kid again.
But
now I'm
a drink alcohol.
Yeah, I want to say that.
Whoa.
I was not super hyped on the event. Actually, like, oh, there's so much fingerboard. So I was like, oh, there's all these old parks. Cool. I'm not able to ride them anymore, but okay. So parks changed, spots changed over the years.
Yeah.
So there were 3 Black River parks.
Yeah.
One was a G3, I think, from judging from the images.
Don't pin me on the numbers.
On the number, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and
something between G3 and between G2.
The one
even,
park
I
was the
think.
G6.
And
actually, that is the only park I remember. The rest of the it was the G6.
The one with the
sure?
stairs?
Yeah, it was the
the
Winkler
one-
Mini
the one
and the stairs.
from the first run.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
One
king
of the
pledge.
part.
Exactly.
The one part was
the
the G6, and the other part,
Got it.
I don't know.
Was a G hunt me down.
G something.
And what else was there?
Some self-made spots. It's like just tail with obstacle combined.
Yeah.
Freely and Big Mini was there, completely black, painted black with iron coppings. That
anyway.
Yeah, thanks for that.
And now we get a copyright strike.
Yeah, and
I did it with a redneck voice. Come on.
Yeah, and also Brickabilly.
Quite a few Brickabilly ramps, the new ones.
Yeah, a few.
A
lot of few.
Oh yes, quite a few.
Yeah, would
Jolly
real liked to ride those ramps, like the Brooklyn banks.
The Brooklyn banks were amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't quite like the ones with the bigger tiles, to be quite honest.
I mean, they look great.
They look great.
That was a part. It really looked great, but in my opinion, it was like the obstacle where the combination was kind of small sometimes. You don't have the space to
You didn't
actually
have
have
you didn't have the
room
space
to ride smoothly.
and
It looked
also,
great.
Also, the material felt weird. To be quite honest, it like takes the weirder parts, the worst parts from concrete and the worst parts from stone, and puts them together. And it's like, yeah, well, it doesn't feel like neither of those, but it's
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but he, I just forget his name.
I think I went on calling him Billy all
Oh yeah, because
fucking
of
weekend.
Sorry for that, to not remember your name. But he was asking, like, how can I improve my ramps?
Yeah,
So
he was
absolutely
actually
honest-
asking for honest feedback.
Yeah.
That was
and
great.
really honest feedback. And I was like, they look great, but I actually don't like to ride them because the form factor and all the stuff was not fitting my style. Some people were really to it and really liked
and
them.
building spots
Yeah.
and we're super into
Yeah.
and modular and
And it's a cool thing.
and
It's-
we're like
I
simple is king, you know.
Yeah.
I like the
Yeah. Simplest king.
I really like the modular aspect of those ramps. I mean, I've only ridden them at the Aussie store, but still, I really enjoy them. I like playing with Lego, so that is Fingerboard Lego.
Yeah, but it's a cool thing. It's
I also like Lego.
Yeah.
Discriminate me.
So everybody
Yeah,
has
so-
his own style. So
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You will
And
fit.
how was the event itself? Like,
what about? Sorry. Iron obstacles.
oh yeah, big shout out.
Really good obstacles. Iron obstacles because they were simply made but super stable and super fun to ride. Good measurements. Nice optics. 10 out of 10.
yeah, I haven't ridden one of them yet, but they look really
The feel is
cool.
really smooth because the iron is it's so much weight. So
Yeah,
And
you
the
don't-
ramp,
you
you
don't
wanna
move
slip
it,
away.
You
Yeah.
don't move it 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
It's
And I mean,
you don't need
there.
non-sliders
Yeah,
at that
exactly.
point. Only do you.
maybe,
You're riding on Teflon, maybe.
yeah, Teflon or the glass table. Yeah, for sure.
as far as I know, the guy who does them is a professional welder.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
I saw that.
It tells.
yeah, they look professionally made.
Yeah, for sure.
super
But,
cool.
But I mean, the breakability stuff looks the same way. They
yeah,
also
yeah,
look
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a super
professionally
good
made.
manufacturer.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And the Brooklyn banks, you don't feel no
Wobble.
this
No,
level
yeah.
in the transition
No
whatsoever.
gaps
No wobble,
or-
no nudging, no. It's cool.
Yeah, so how was the event structured itself? So there were a bunch of parks in a cool location.
Yeah,
What else?
the contest, the
So it was a
modus,
contest.
modus was pretty simple. It was first a run with the best trick combined directly after the run. The run was 45 seconds.
How many
And-
tries did you get for the best trick?
For the best trick, you got
Three
tries.
Three tries,
Yeah,
yeah.
3 tries.
That's the contest format I really like.
Yeah,
Run
yeah,
and
pretty
best trick at the
simple,
end.
Pretty simple.
It worked
Um,
perfectly because there was not that much people. I
Yeah,
there
I think
was
something
20
like
starters around
27.
there.
27.
27.
It was
okay.
not that small.
27 riders is a lot.
Almost everyone that was there entered.
Yeah.
Okay,
You have
so-
to also say that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
because the
so
entry was
n-
free, so there was
Yeah,
no money.
no.
So not
Yeah.
only people who've been fingerboarding for years, also people who just picked it up at a day. or
Yeah,
something like that.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like,
cool.
come, it's a contest, so have fun. It's
Mhm.
okay. There's no money for that. So.
Yeah, no, €25 fees, you know.
But
Anyway.
actually, no t-shirt.
Oh. But I would have worn a Flat Flat t-shirt.
Of course.
Black River t-shirt, that's no more. Anyway, so, what we wanted to say. No, it was super cool. And the thing is,
The
although
Ramon actually destroyed the park. Sorry.
Ramon went around this park.
He was a maniac.
Something like
He was a fucking maniac.
like a fucking maniac.
That was the point. He was like kind of sleep drunken, to
Oh
say that,
yeah,
because we had this. Yeah, take our train in Berlin really early.
So he was like really sleepy.
He
and
was
really outside of his sleep schedule.
Yeah.
He was completely on his
Not
run
there.
only on
In the tunnel.
In the tunnel, yeah.
Yeah.
Say that he was completely in the tunnel. He was like doing frontside flip over the whole stair set, and afterwards we was like,
flat.
yeah, from the flat, and we was like, Aaron, you did a frontside flip, the whole stair set up over the flat.
One of those old stair sets, to clarify, that would mean at least 40 to 50 centimeters.
Yeah, and he catch the kickflip. So that was the point. He was even higher. And afterwards we say that, and he was like, oh, really? Or did I do that out of the kicker? Nah, from the flat. Oh, cool. He didn't remember anything. He was completely on the tunnel.
And the thing is, although I'm not a contest rider, I actually enjoyed my run on the older parks. So it was fun. It was really fun.
You had a really good run, yeah.
Well,
Completely stay on run, actually, to the point that Timo just reminds you of, oh, there was a stay, bam, bam.
Anyway,
it was a good run.
To say one word about Ramon and his contest style, I've seen him a bunch of times in contests, and I always thought that seems a bit. The first time I saw it, I was like, okay, I mean, he did stay on, but what was there so special about it? Because when you see a run of his, he usually runs around the park like 3 times.
Yeah.
I tried to at least hurry up in my run at the Fast Fingers.
Yeah.
Just looked nervous as fuck. And I got around the park once. I have no idea how he does that.
He got around the park 3 times.
Yeah.
And it was a huge park. It was only 45 seconds.
Yeah, and he...
It was 2 parks combined.
Yeah!
And he does that
That's the problem.
and he does that like looking really good. I mean, he's quite strategic in contest runs.
Yeah.
He's like, no flip tricks for the first half, or something along those lines. He's like, okay, let's do a Smith here, a crook there, a switch ollie there, something like that. And then later on in the run, you can get a bit more creative.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you
kind
can
of went all out.
I mean, I weren't even able to run around the park 3 times in 45 seconds without fingerboarding. So, stick to this.
Just like how he's a bit strategic, and yeah, a lot of people don't do that in fingerboarding.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after the first round, what else was there?
After that, there was also a run with the best trick.
Yeah, second run, best trick.
Yeah. Second run, even also a best trick at the end on another park. It was like the G7 Plaza, I think.
Exactly,
and it was
the G7
a
Plaza.
little bit updated with the ledge and
Black River bike rack.
Yeah.
That bike rack.
To mention that.
That bike rack.
Yeah, that bike rack.
And yeah, but also a pretty decent spot. We were kind of surprised. Like, according to the dimensions, Ramon should have made the park 8 times. He only made the park, I don't know,
3 times
4.5 park.
4.5, I think 3 times.
Yeah.
In that he stick to round trick, and then it was like slowing down, and he was out of focus, and stopped there. But it was even a crazy
Too
run.
sleepy.
Was it a cut after the first park, or did everyone
Oh
ride?
yeah.
It was a cut to I think 8 people, something like that. Yeah.
Were any of you in the cut?
Yeah. We both were in the cut.
Yeah.
Any of the other people I might know or people might know?
Yeah, Ramon, of course.
So you three,
Ramon, Mattes Baumgart,
Jan Fröhling
for sure, Max Rothe, the dude with the half flip back tail, no, half flip blonde big spin on the
Wait,
left-handed.
Wait, I wasn't there, and I'm not left-handed.
Yeah, well, see,
Other people do that trick as well.
Yeah, you'd be quite surprised. A few people do that fucking trick. Anyway, and who else? Me.
So,
you
so a
was
couple
also
of the
on there.
German core
Yeah.
scene people, basically.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, cool.
there was the second run with the second best trick, and after that there was a cut to 3 people for the finals, and they just do a classical
Game of skate at
on
the
the
park.
huge G6 combination park with the old other Black River Park.
Exactly, the park from the first run.
Yeah.
So it was a really good final because you had this. So Matters, like
Everybody
went
so
out pretty
damn
quickly.
honest about their own tricks.
Oh yeah.
There was like
that's
some tricks
also-
even Mattes did. Everybody was like, it actually was. You didn't see that he failed or bailed the trick in any way, but he was it wasn't. It wasn't like the way I wanted to do that. So he was like, no, next one.
Really
skip.
fair.
And that's something we really value.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
that has to be valued. You'd have to say. But anyway, so also the really cool thing is that Jan Fröhling and Ramon both are these super brutalistic fingerboarders, you know, like huge gaps, huge flips into grinds.
Yeah, Jan
super
Fröhling is also
aggressive.
someone who has been in the scene for ages.
Since the beginning, I
Like,
think.
Yeah, since the
I
beginning
mean,
of
he
time.
was there
was
before
there
anything started, I think.
with his bike.
With his bike.
He came with his bike.
This time he didn't came with his bike.
He had it with
Yeah,
him,
it was-
though.
Maybe that's the reason, because...
Yeah, probably
now
he went back by bike.
Who knows?
Who knows?
But it was a really good final. Even
Yeah,
between
really
Ramon
good,
and
really
Jan, it was how it has to be.
How it has to be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
And Ramon finally came out on top with a really cool combo. Like this huge stair set with these huge blocks. And he did ollie up, ollie up, ollie up in like ultra quick succession.
And,
like you don't see the actual ollies as
I
and he's up.
I know
So,
exactly what you mean.
he
If
was
you, he explained that to me once. That he basically does a training for exactly that kind of thing. Try to do, as a challenge for everyone listening, try to do 5 ollies without adjusting your fingers, popping exactly when you land. So land, ollie, land, ollie, land, ollie, land, ollie, and see how many you can do. I can do 3, and the third is ugly. He can do like 7.
Yeah.
I can do nollie flips.
And and that's also how he does these like quick ollies up. Because
It's a really hard trick
it
to say that.
it doesn't look hard. I think when you look at it from the first.
And at this
But
speed,
in that speed, exactly.
it was like it was a trap ollie. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you have to do that in a game of skate as an opponent, at first I would probably be, it can't be that hard, and then I fail miserably.
Nah, you see that and you're like, oh. Danger. Anyway.
I would definitely fail miserably. That I'm
Absolutely.
sure of.
so it was a good end.
Yeah, and the after session was also super chill.
Super chill.
Yeah.
It was a good event. It was
Cool.
Really good
a
event.
small group of people, but not too small.
Yeah, not too small, not too large. The right ones were there. It was good. Like
Meaning I
you were
wasn't-
missing, but okay. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Next time.
Yeah, sure.
So
of
I mean, you
of
shared
course.
the time. So
yeah,
you,
we
you
were
had some
into
time. You
fucking
had
patio.
in Mateo.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
I went to another event with actually those two guys who organized the Awesome Fingers. I was sharing a room with them in an Airbnb. It was fucking great. And yeah, the weekend was as well really great. I was sick before I left. I didn't go to work for 2 days, so I could leave for Pateo late on Friday. And yeah, and it worked. I think if I would have gone to work, I wouldn't have gone.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. There were basically two groups of people. There were Portuguese and Germans. I would say.
Oh, when I thought.
Yeah.
Fuck when I know.
I mean, I would have assumed that at least some Spanish people would come, but I don't think there were any Spanish people. Could be wrong, but at least I didn't speak with anyone who was from Spain or neighboring.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, there was one guy, Phil, from Canada, and yeah, I think
random
sense.
Caleb bro.
Yeah, but it was really cool that he was there. And yeah, I think otherwise it was just Germans and Portuguese.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. Like, it was my first time at Pateo and in Portugal in general. We sadly couldn't go to the Yellowwood store because it wasn't open. At least I would have liked to have a session on the terrace. But
No,
when,
it was surfing.
Yeah, when the weather was shit, but it was surfing.
Good weather. Good weather to surf.
Maybe
and
breakdown.
Yeah, and the other two guys went to the store the day before to at least sesh the outside park. We thought about doing that, but then it rained the whole day, so where we had time, so we didn't do that as well.
In the rain. Whoa! Sorry for that.
That is really bad.
Yeah, another copyright strike. Thank you. And
we're on the roll. I'm on the roll anyway.
And the event itself was like really awesome. It was really familiar, like really a big family. I mean, it's not like I talked with with everyone or something like that, but
it's not like I talked to anyone.
but for example, it could be that you have session on an obstacle for half an hour. You don't know the other person, but you celebrate with them. You moan with them when they have a close call and don't land the trick, and it was just didn't matter who was standing across from you.
I mean, there is no language barrier in Fingerboard.
Exactly.
So that's the point.
And it was so.
Whoa! Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
It's done.
Yeah,
so,
and
drink together. It's okay.
It was just so cool. Like
Cheers.
it was like a blind understanding. You go, I go. Yeah, it was really cool. And the parks were also quite cool. They had a stair set which I hadn't seen before. I don't know if it's completely new, but at least I didn't know.
It is new. Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I think it was built for the event, but I'm not.
The last time I was there was
every patio, Ricardo actually builds a new spot.
Ah, okay, that explains things. And I fucking loved that stair set. Like, it was my absolute favorite thing. It's basically, I think, a 16 stair. And has a rail in the middle, and
gotta count them.
And it's huge. So I think dimension-wise it would be 35 centimeters high.
Honestly? Whoa.
Yeah,
okay.
and probably
it's not 35.
probably
okay.
45 to 50 centimeters long.
Sick.
And the rail was so solid. Like, it actually amazed me all the time. Because I'm used to stairs having rails that are a bit wobbly or a bit fragile, and that one you could slam a trick against and it would just stick.
You can throw a child against that, I would say.
Even a drunk child.
Yeah, even a big drunk child.
Even a big drunk child.
I haven't tried that, to be honest. And
maybe the child has tried it himself.
And it was a round rail, which I like quite a lot on rails.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
square
them more
rails
as well.
make things easier, but I like the challenge.
Also, a square rail on that length can be tricky and dangerous. You can cut yourself.
But I mean, the spot was really cool. Then there was, of course, the bowl and the main spot with the two ledges. That's like miniaturization of a skate spot in Porto, a famous one. And so
that's a really good spot.
Yeah,
we know
it's simple.
We know that.
Yeah, that's the point.
Simple.
All the spots at the patio are really simple, and that's the reason why they are good. To point it out. I mean, the bowl is super sick.
The bowl
is
is
the best bowl I
amazing.
ever rode.
Yeah,
really.
And so they did a contest on the two curb spot, and bunch of people you would expect made the finals.
Yeah,
Nico Frank,
even with a fucked up hand.
Yeah.
Me, I'm not gonna make the patio. I'm not gonna be able to ride. Makes third place.
Yeah.
Nico in a nutshell.
Yeah. Typical Frank.
Then also Valentin Leiber. And the third one,
Mr. Quick and Dirty.
Yeah.
And the third
and the
one,
third one,
Chico X.
Sorry for
Y
that.
C.
Something
We fucking butchered your name. I'm sorry. It's one of the guys from Improviso FB, which is one of the best fingerboard account on Instagram, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Amazing style.
I'm on your point.
Yeah, and he had a really solid style.
Yeah.
And we talked about being honest in the game of skate scenario thing earlier.
Yeah, we talked about you, Valentin.
you know it. Now you do.
Yeah, there was one incident where Valentin did some flip to Smith, I think.
Yeah, it was
Switch
a flip Smith crime to flip out.
Yeah.
It was actually a lip slide to Smith.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, we were in the store
and
we were watching it live, and
we watched it live. We was going on the live stream actually when this happened, so we didn't know where the patio is at that moment, and we saw the trick, and it was like Bennett was the first person to see that. It was like, nah, that wasn't. And then the camera switched to Timo. And Timo was standing at the patio live at that moment and was like, nah.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
And you know it.
And you know it.
Yeah, and I really liked it as well. Cause, And so Chico, sorry, he won.
He won.
He won with a trick that's really near and dear to my heart. He won with a hard flip backlip, backtail
to despise.
Yeah, I mean it's my go-to. And another copyright.
Hey, 3 times the charm.
So I have to create one as well. Maybe later. So he did a hard flip backtail, and it was really good. And he threw out. He had a clean style. He was smiling the whole time. Like, I don't know if you saw that on the live stream, but he was having a blast. And
every time. I mean, I saw the live stream back when it was ended to see the finals again, because I didn't saw them before. And it was like every trick Valentin did, he actually did it first try and so quick. Yeah. It was like, okay, bam, bam. Oh, really? Oh, and he was smiling.
Yeah.
He was smiling the whole time. He had a lot of fun, I think.
Yeah.
And it was nice to see that.
Yeah. And so after that the contest concluded, and there was like a regular session with a lot of stuff going on. Then later that night, like really late, I think it was like 1 in the morning at that point, out of nowhere, Timo showed up with $50 in his hand. I don't know if it was his or from Ricardo.
Anyway,
don't know where it came from. Doesn't matter. He went to the stair set and shouted, "Best trick contest, $50." And yeah, then we basically did an impromptu contest at the stair set, which I really enjoyed because, like I said, I fucking loved that stair set, and I've been sessioning it the whole weekend. And yeah, it was like a really cool format, I think. It was one try, so everyone who wanted to enter had one try and not more. So in the first round, I landed a hard flip back lip, and some other people landed something. Then we cut to a few people, maybe 6, I don't know exactly. Then
basically everyone who landed something.
Yeah, then we did the same thing again. That time I did a tray flip lip slide and managed to get into the final together with a Portuguese guy who I sadly don't know the name of, and Manuel Oberle, who also has been in the scene for as long as anyone can remember, basically.
Another dinosaur.
Yeah, and
something around 20 years, I think.
And also a giant. Like, every time I look at him, I'm like, damn, I forgot how tall you are.
And I want to hug you.
Yeah.
A wild Snorlax appears.
Yeah. He's an amazing dude.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure having him in the game of skate. He also, so the final was a game of skate, and I mean, I had fun in the game of skate, but Manu took the having fun to a whole nother level. Like, he was smiling the whole time, didn't care if he landed something. He was just having a good time, and it was cool to see.
Probably trashed as fuck.
I mean, at that point it was like probably 1:30, maybe 2 in the morning. Earlier that day, I went to buy beer with 2 other Germans, and Timo gave us a bit money, and each of us bought a crate of beer. So yeah, the 3 Germans arrived with 4 crates of beer.
Cheap.
Stereotype.
Yeah, we were walking in there, and everyone's like, "Oh, here come the Germans."
Yeah,
and we're like,
"Yeah." With tanks instead of beer.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so I had quite a bit to drink at that point myself.
Was Robin there?
I don't know who that is.
Robin from Köln?
I think I didn't see him on the live stream, so
but yeah, we had a lot of fun.
Sure.
The guy who won the actual contest threw in a deck. I think something that he won, or an old deck of his.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I happened to win the game of skate, which was really cool for me because I usually don't win stuff like that. But I mainly had fun, and that was the coolest thing. And I realized that when I did my run in the proper contest, I was fucking nervous, and I didn't land anything. And
yeah, but that's like the scare of the big contest, right?
No, it didn't really feel different. Like, from the vibe,
okay.
The game of skate felt like the big contest.
Okay,
everyone was scattered, or because I was more comfortable, or because I was just much more relaxed, because I was like, I'm not gonna win this anyway.
Yeah.
And so I was just having fun, and it turned out when you're just having fun, you're much better than when you're a bundle of nerves.
Basically.
Yeah, and it was a pleasure to play against the other twos. And I watched it back as well because I wanted to see what was going on, because I only remember half of it. Yeah, because I was also like in the zone, and after that I didn't remember any of the tricks I did. I remembered the hard flip backtail. Surprise, I did a hard flip backtail. And
who would have known? The fuck would have known?
Yeah, but it was really cool. And after the contest ended, all of us thought like, okay, now we're gonna get back to the session, but then Timo shows up and be like, let's do the same thing in the bowl. But the cool thing was that Gene, also local from the Aussie shop, and also a dinosaur of the German scene,
Surprise.
He won the bowl contest, and he's
I mean, if you
one of the greatest
if you have ever
bull riders.
seen, Gene ride a bull, then you know what bull riding is.
I mean,
like.
the other runs were also good as well. Like Adrian Witzel did quite a good run. I enjoyed both of his runs. I think he had a solid style.
Yeah, he has for sure.
Yeah, and it was a really solid bowl run. Nico actually surprised me. I didn't know that he rides bowl.
That's probably the only thing he could do for the last week with the fucked up hand.
Probably. So that thing was also really cool, and we basically took it home for Berlin. It was fun. It was overall the weekend.
Yeah, we have to go.
Fucking
next
amazing.
Sure.
Definitely want to go back, and I have a good recommendation for an Airbnb. And it was just like
I think I'm gonna stay there.
Yeah, it was like cool parks, amazing people. I hung out or talked with people who are basically idols of the scene that I haven't really had contact with, like Ricardo, like Losh. Doesn't mean I'm best buddies with them now, but it was just cool to have a conversation with them and have a session.
I mean, you can come over there all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I was in Porto 3 years ago.
Yeah.
I was completely
spontaneous.
Yeah, spontaneous. That I just came by at one day off and was like, oh, okay, to Pateo. And the only thing I remembered was the cafe on the other side of the street from the Pateo. And I didn't know how the actual entry from the Pateo looks like. And I was like, okay, this has to be the spot. I don't have the number of Ricardo. It's completely spontaneous. And then I looked up and then just saw the one sticker on the side of the wall and was like, oh, it has to be here. And I ringed and Ricardo was there. I was really surprised, like, what did you do here? I'm on vacation, 1 day off. Yeah, come in. Super chill, did a session with the people that were around. It was only 1 day, it was something like that. He was like, it was 1 week before the actual Pateo 3 years ago.
Ah, okay.
I was there, so.
Ah, okay, cool.
I don't have time to go to the actual Pateo, but I was at the spot and it was really chilled. And
we also were there the day before Pateo, and it was basically a weekend thing.
Yeah.
And I bought a few wheels of Ricardo. Haven't had oak wheels in a while. I have one very big set and one very small set. And
seems like the way to go.
Yeah, I thought I would do myself an outdoor setup. And that's why I got the very big wheels and wanted to have minis again.
The other ones are really cool.
Yeah.
I like the color.
Yeah, and so overall I can just recommend going there. And like we hinted at, the spots that were super simple, all of us here really enjoy simple spots. Because sometimes you want to session a whole park, but I built myself a park and I kind of regret not having a spot and having a park. Because when you have something like that and ride it, or you can ride it on a daily basis, it gets boring much more quicker than a flat spot does. So, what did you build and why?
What did we do? Yeah, we did.
You want to
solo. I think I will. I think maybe 1.5 months back, I drew something together with Bennett. I told him, like, okay, write the obstacle and then write the flat and then tell me at which point do you get bored. And he was like, okay, here, and I measured the length to the obstacle, and then we repeated the process with 2 obstacles, like in combination, and that's how we established the measurements of what came to be the simple spot. And then I said basically it doesn't need much more than one big manual pad, like one really chilled manual pad that is low, where you can do basically everything. And another spot with 2 curbs basically, and one heightened curb in the middle. So if you want a stylized picnic table.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to explain it.
Yeah. And everything embedded in concrete. That was the basic idea. 1 meter 85 length, 60 wide.
So, what material did you use for the spot itself, or the obstacles themselves?
The obstacles itself were made out of Schrödinger's marble. That's marble that was lying in the basement of the Asi Berlin shop for some time.
A couple of years.
Been there or not.
It could have been there or not. The basic idea was really to do a spot strictly with that marble, because I really like that surface from the
counter,
from the flat ground that we have in front of the shop. So I was like, let's use that. It's there, so we organized a marble saw. Jana organized the marble saw. And then we basically, I grabbed Henneman and was like, "You're the man for the job."
And I was the man for the job. Hey.
And he was like,
I just was doing the dirty stuff.
You're the man for the dirty work.
Yeah.
I mean, we just do the...
So you basically did dirty deeds, done dirt cheap.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah.
And that was my copyright strike.
Thanks for that.
So the first step was building
a stable table.
A stable table in which you could possibly throw a big drunken child into.
So
that's the incident. Yeah, and that we did.
So you did throw a drunken child.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's Berlin. It's Berlin.
I mean, trial by error. You know, that's a thing. That's scientific method.
Yeah. And it worked out. So
we did that for 2 weeks straight. One child
building the table, they mean.
Exactly. And then
no child were harmed. So just kidding at that point. Yeah, we started with the table. And after that, we was cutting the marble. The marble. Sorry, not the marble. Marble is the German word for marble.
Yeah, exactly. But it kind of works, you know. The
marble.
It's just a anyway.
Okay, then we just cut the marble,
which was surprisingly easier than we thought. We looked at the saw and we're like, nope.
I mean, we had to work in the basement of the shop, and it wasn't It was
with a saw that's mainly designed for like cutting tiles. That's why my father-in-law had it and lended to me, and I gave it to him.
Yeah, and just for clarification, the marble plates are 2 centimeters thick, so it's quite sturdy and stable material.
I still hear the noise like. You have to stop it! No! Get on!
The first day we had Niels in the basement, and he was like, "You can make techno out of that."
Yeah, it will work out. So we start cutting the marble, and after that we just
sanded it and glued it together.
And then poured the concrete.
Not yet.
Damn it.
Go on pouring.
And then there came the secret ingredients.
And we poured straight 11 liters of concrete over the fucking table. No,
I mean, Google that shit. Google that shit. How to build a concrete spot. It's not that hard. We stopped at that point because it's quite annoying to tell about that.
We give you just a little tip. Gravity is still working, and runny shit tends to fall off flat surfaces.
That's enough.
Yeah, that's
basically
enough.
Yeah, but the spot turned out great. I really enjoyed, like, especially the manual pad. That's right up my alley. It's easy to ride. I'm not that great, so
it's really chill.
It helps learning stuff. To have something that flat, because it's like around 3 centimeters, I would say, 3 to 4. Yeah, something between that. And
no, 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
Exactly 3.5.
Okay.
I had the best measurement.
I listened to the people who did it, and yeah, it really helps like learning stuff. I was trying my hand on like switch heel onto stuff like that because it's easier to land it on something that.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's a wide surface and it's exactly.
It's wide. It's not too short, but also not super long. So that it's like still a mani pad.
And
not
that's
like
exactly the concept with which it was conceived.
Every level of rider can ride.
Exactly.
And that's the point.
And it's fun for every type of rider.
Yeah,
because it's not hard.
Yeah, and the picnic table can be a bit more challenging, but also quite simple. Like you can ride it as just a ledge. And you can also ride it as like a mani combo.
But if you try to do something like, for example, on the far edge, on the farthest edge, on the backside side, like a backtail, that could get, or a flip backtail, or whatever you're into.
It works.
It works. Of course it works. We know you can do it. No. I mean, it's a bit more of a challenge, but still, it's not impossible, and that's the main concept. It's a simple spot. There's no over the edge kink rails. The rideability is increased through the precise measurement.
Yeah, and you can also ride it as a lefty.
Yeah,
it's true. Completely symmetrical.
It's the exact same spot on the other side. I know that you thought about adding banks or quarter pipes to either end.
Yeah, for a short time, we thought about doing some kind of a quarter thing, but that would have taken 5 centimeters at least from the actual spot. From the actual 45 centimeters of ride onto the first element, so we decided, fuck that.
Yeah, when we talked about that before you build it, I was like, but does it take away that much? Because I was like, isn't it just cooler with a bank or something? But like as soon as I wrote it, I was like, yeah.
If you want.
It would have taken away space. Exactly. And like now it's like the perfect length so that you can ride onto the obstacle or out of the obstacle.
If the table would have been in total 20 centimeters,
yeah, 20.
Longer you could have been thinking about bangs, but I was fixed on those 185 centimeters. I was like, that's my measurement.
And you don't need it. Like
that's cool.
Like I said, the simplicity of the spot is what makes it cool.
Also, you have to say that both the material of the elements and the flat is really, really enjoyable to ride on. The marble grinds really well.
So it's the concrete that Timo uses for the Aussie bricks.
Yeah, you have to give him credit for that. He even mixed it. We don't want to get into petty disclaimers. Anyway, what I wanted to say is it took quite some time to get completely to harden through.
Yeah. Because actually, it was hardened. We waited for over 48 hours.
Oh yeah,
We
were in Hereford.
We were in Hereford where it was hardened out,
Mm-hmm.
and when they come back, it was like, normally now that's the point where the concrete were completely hardened, and it was super sticky at first. And I was like, oh, that's hard. But it was a cool challenge. But then we realized over the next 2-3 days, it just hardened. Even more.
Yeah.
And now it's
it didn't harden through completely.
No.
Completely.
And we were like, okay, it's done probably. Let's sand it. I sanded it, and then I was like, okay, let's play a game of skate on that. And whatever you would do, you would get out of a grind, for example.
You have to ride in the line because there's no other option.
Exactly.
It's actually a line.
So grippy.
You can't slide.
It was like riding on tracks. It was mad. It was like actually one of the hardest game of skate I've ever played in my life because it was so fucking grippy. And then I went back to the store a couple of days later, and it was way more chilled, like way less grip. At first we were like, someone with Oaks is fucked on this.
Absolutely.
It's not gonna work. It's like riding on chalk.
Even with normal plastic wheels like Winky wheels or flat face, it was super sticky. But it was a challenge. It was also cool.
It was super cool.
But now it's like super smooth. Like
super smooth surface.
It's like really almost polished feel to the concrete.
Oh yeah, I went over with 600 grit.
But it's also kind of the street feel.
Because it has a few bumps.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. But you don't mention that. I mean, it's
should we cut that out?
No, it's cool. They are there. It makes it harder.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
And the point is like,
it's a really, really cool spot to ride. And like I said, those simple spots can be much more enjoyable because even on that spot you can still add something if you like. Like if you have an obstacle with you, put it down.
If you really want to. But I mean, it really should suffice. It's not necessary,
so.
Yeah.
It's everything that you need is basically there. You've got higher curbs, flatter curbs, wider curbs. You don't need rails. That's a misconception.
I mean, there's no transition, but you can ride a bowl.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. We could put a bowl like straight directly beside it. You could drop in.
I mean, I'm always looking.
You could drop in from there into Jean's Mini.
Yeah, if you're around, you can even ride
a wall.
The wall. The roof.
The wall.
Yeah.
Right, the roof.
You can ride a fingerboard on a fingerboard and it's even fun.
Yeah.
The roof. Anna, shut up.
So after you did those obstacles for the park, you started doing a few extra ones.
Oh
yeah, we started.
It was. Can I tell that?
Yeah, sure.
It was like sorry. We used to work for the park almost 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were there a lot.
From time to time. The problem was like we were going to the basement, starting something to do on the table or on the flat, and it was like, okay, we don't have enough material. Okay, back to the store. Then switch it to another day, and also between times I had to work. Julian had to do some stuff, so it was over 2 weeks we built a park. And after the 2 weeks, I personally were kind of exhausting after that 2 weeks, and it was a normal day after we just finished the spot, and Julian came by to the shop, and he was like, "Oh yeah, Henneman, I had an idea. I was going to the Spiedi and grabbing a beer, coming back, and I was just kind of eye rolling. And I was like, yeah, want you to tell me your idea, or is it just maybe you can use the rest of the marble in the basement to build some banks? Oh benches. Yeah, benches. Yeah, that's my idea. Okay, let's do that. I mean, it worked out. The marble is really, really good, and there was some left marble in the shop, so we just thought about
benches are fucking sick.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Yeah. It's a really simple obstacle. That's the reason why it's simple benches. Sorry, but
but
it works.
It works. Yeah.
It works. Yeah.
It even fit your smartphone.
Yeah, it's like a smartphone holder for my.
Yeah. I just recognized that your smartphone just fitted between.
That's your new cover.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's beautiful.
Yeah, and then we just started to do some benches the week after that, and it turned out really good. It's a good material to work on.
Yeah, I think you can buy a few at the shop, and otherwise you have to be nice to those two.
Yeah. The material is so good, and the benches are so simple. Like
everybody can do them.
Yeah, literally anyone.
Yeah, but they're made quite good. Like you killed it. So yeah, at that point, I think we can wrap it up. So
I think that's a good closing statement. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you, Henneman, for joining us today.
Thank you both for having me here.
Yeah, wanted to have you here when we talk about the spot and the bench, because
I was involved
a bit
somehow.
A bit, yes.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And so you will probably hear it soon, and you can find this on YouTube in a couple days. And hit us up if you have any criticism or anything you would like to talk about, and
any complaints,
or if you want to post it on social media.
If you want to donate, stop that. It's not about money.
No, it's not about money.
No, capitalism is bad.
Yeah, so thank you everyone for listening, and you will hear us in the next episode. Bye.
Fridays for future.
Cheers.